I don't friggin' care how many of the grays it's outside. If you care, it's I think 28 right now and it's like not even noon here. But I'm getting ready today because my parents are nearby. If you didn't know, my parents live about 500 kilometers away from me, but they are here in my area like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a year. And today it's September 8th when I'm filming this. It's my mom's birthday and my mom's birthday, and we will drive to where they are staying and have some coffee and birthday dinner. So I thought, let's get ready. And I do want to you just do it in a get ready with me video, testing out a couple new items, like for example the new Eldridge Fawn eyeshadow. I have the new Huda foundation and the primer. I have some new powders to test, so there is a bunch of shit actually that I have here that I need to test, and let's just get ready together. And we're starting with this one. This is the Beauty Bay Oil Control Priming Mist. They have also a oil control setting mist, and I got them in a duo. I know, or do you all remember when was it Makeup Forever? They had also a priming mist that was super popular back then. I never had that. It smells a bit like hairspray, but I'm planning to use this as first layer, let it dry a bit while I apply my eyeshadow primer, and then we're moving on with the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. So let me just spritz my face. I feel very wet, honestly. I look very wet. I probably applied too much, so let me use a little fan. Well, it says oil control. It does not say mattify because I'm everything but not matte. So let's apply the eye primer. Everybody and their mother, including Angelica Ninquist, you know, I don't watch her regularly because I have my problems with some of her attitudes, but she is raving about this Sigma Beauty eyeshadow base. This is Ignite. Yes, the Ignite stick. And I was curious. I ordered this like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, but I haven't tried it yet. And I'm honestly a bit confused because you only get 1.4 gram to compare it with, for example, the About Face eye primer. You get 12 milliliters. I think the Urban Decay primer potion is 10 or so. Then we have my favorite at the moment. This is the Smashbox Photo Affinity Intensified 24-Hour Shadow Primer. And this has also 10. So, not sure, but I'm gonna use it. So, am I doing this right? I just apply this a bit, and then I use this brush by Spectrum to blend that out. And I apply my primer usually up to the brow, and whatever is left on the brush also on the under eye area.
So this is a memo for Edit Ella. Please, Edit Ella, put down in the video description how that primer held up today.
And in case you wonder why my voice is so weird, I'm still very, very much sick. I filmed already yesterday the You Don't Need That Shit part 61, where I already told you that I'm sick, and this is just the day after. So you see this, I think, 2 weeks after that thing, but yeah, I do film day to day. And I just was about to apply my concealer, but before that we need the Easy Blur primer. This is not a first impression. I have used the primer and the foundation already together, but that was not the best day to test it because it was the first day where I got sick and it got just worse over the days. So let's test it again. By the way, this primer, I said it already in the You Don't Need That Shit where we talked about this. Y'all, this is the exact same thing, honestly, as the Blur Jam. You cannot convince me otherwise. So here is the new blur primer, and this is the blur gem from Glowish. They are nearly the same thing, and to be honest, from that first impression moment, I also think that they not only apply the same, but they also look the same. So I just tap this on, and now I am working it in, and I wipe my finger off here in a dry towel so that I do not mix it with the blur gem. Don't worry. Could that bird shut the fuck up, please? Thank you. There was no bird outside for the whole day, and now that I started filming, he has to chirp here and has to share his own opinion. Start your own YouTube channel, then you can talk. I do agree though, it is indeed very cheap packaging. Not gonna lie, this is the same packaging, I think, as the NYX Angel Veil, while I don't want to say that this is a cheap drugstore primer, but it's a drugstore primer, and honestly, Huda Beauty is definitely more a high-end brand, so I expect a bit more. So I applied a bit of spot concealer, my REM, what's it called? Concealer. Does it have a name? I think it's a sweetener concealer or so. And as per usual, I set my eyeshadow primer and my concealer with the Made by Mitchell eye lights. I'm working on the last 2 shades in this palette, so it will be, I think, empty by the end of the year, since I use this on a daily basis to set my concealer and my primer on the eyes. It's not going to take any longer here to finish this, so I'm positive it will be done end of this year. I start with the shade Upper West Side, and this is a Velvet, and I apply this all over my crease with a very big brush so that I can take it up also in the transition area. I now tap into Supernaturally, which is a seamless matte. And that one I blend in the crease for more depth. Honestly, no matter what you love in eyeshadow colors or color story in general, Lisa Eldridge eyeshadows are just so foolproof. It's illegal, honestly. I don't think I ever fucked up a look with Lisa Eldridge eyeshadows. I now go into Burnt Cloth. This is also a seamless matte. That one I blend here on the outer V area. But I don't like the brush. Let me take another one. Want to have precision? Yes, but that brush was a bit too flimsy for the effect that I'm going for. See, this is what I mean when I say you cannot fuck up an eyeshadow look with Lisa Eldridge eyeshadows. I applied my Sweat Nay glitter glue. This is the best glitter glue I ever tried, and they can now be purchased as singles on the Look Healthy Store website. I think they're like $10. It is a bit much, honestly, for what it is, but there are 2 grams in here, and I've been using this constantly every single day for, oh god, I don't know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something like that. And this is how much I use up. So I still have a lot in here, but you also do not need much. I'll tap into the shade Dorian. This is a luster. And I tap this on the outer part of the lid. Lisa Eldridge calls it luster. I'd say this is like a classic satin shade. It's not matte, but it's nowhere near shimmery too. I now go into Debutant, I think it's Debutant in English. This is a satin duo, and that one I apply on the rest of my lid. And I build that color up by 2 layers, and whatever is now left on the brush, I swipe on top of Dorian. That's a very, very pretty shade, but the base of this shade is very, very close to my skin color. So in certain angles and certain lights, it looks like I have patches on my lid, which aren't there, but This is definitely a true duochrome, I like it. And it's like not punchy duo. I know that some people might not like the super punches. This is more a muted duochrome. Satin. A satin duo. Although I used a glitter glue, there is a ton of fallout from that Dorian shade. But you know me, I don't friggin' care, since I always do eyes before the face. Not very new, but I think I haven't showed it a lot. This is the new Ritual the Fee Creature of Light Serum Illuminator, and I have the shade Moonlit Creature. This shifts slightly purple. It is a very, very beautiful, glowy product. I like it. But I see what people criticize a lot about Ritual the Fee, and that is the scent. It is a very, very intense scent. And since we're doing all new, I also picked up the Easy Blur brush from Huda Beauty. So I'm very, very curious how that is going to work. I never used that before. I basically saved that first use for this video. So that illuminator got worked in like seconds, but this is also a humongous brush. Now for the Easy Blur foundation. I picked out now the shade Angel Food 110. Oh my god. Angel Food 110N. So that's what I wanted to say. I was not sure if I wanted to have this shade or I think the lighter one is 100B Milkshake. I ordered both, swatched them on my hand against a dot of MAC NC10, which is my favorite and my perfect foundation shade. And that one was the closest. It is... I don't think this is spot on my match. This is still a tad bit, as you can tell, too yellow, too light, both. But honestly, once it's blended in, it doesn't matter anymore. So let's do this. So this is now one side of my face with the foundation. On this side I have nothing, and don't get me wrong. I love the marketing of Huda saying that she doesn't use filters anymore. I really do love this. But it is just a straight up lie when she says, or when she marketed it. Oh my god, what's going on today? Where was I? Okay, I just wanted to say that I do not agree with all those exaggerating videos. All those people who apply this on one side of the face and be like, oh my god, this is not a filter. Y'all, this is a filter that you use because your foundation does not look like this. I am not saying that the foundation looks bad. Please do not get me wrong, because honestly, I think this foundation looks absolutely wonderful. I truly enjoy it. Please ignore the way it looks here around my nose and on the upper lip, because I'm sick, or I was very sick, and I was constantly blowing my nose. Everything is super dry and flaky. So this is definitely not a good area to judge the appearance of this foundation on. But on the rest of the face, I mean, you can see it. It does look very, 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 very nice. Not gonna lie. But I mean, aside from that area here, it looks nice. It does look really, really good. It is very, very light on the skin. It does not feel like your regular foundation, while I personally think it looks like a regular foundation. So for example, I'm a big fan of the Louboutin Le Temps Fetiche, the liquid foundation that came out earlier this year. I gave it a raving review and I love this foundation still to this date. This was one of my go-to foundations throughout the whole summer when it was so hot, because it is quite heavy, but it holds on in that heat. It looks just good throughout the day, but it feels like a foundation. It feels like a thick, heavy foundation, while this looks like one, but it doesn't feel like one. So second impression application wise, like this. It will be added in my last speed review of 2024. I just want to gather more thoughts, of course, about this. And I also have to cross-test. You know, I don't want to use that Easy Blur foundation always with the Easy Blur primer. I, of course, want to use it with different primers. And same, I want to use the primer with different foundations. So I need some more testing. I very recently got I bought myself the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Corrector in Cherry Blossom because I'm a big fan of pink under eye correctors. And I'm not too sure how I feel about this because it looks nice, but it looks too dark in my opinion. But once the concealer is on top, it doesn't look dark anymore. So I only use corrector here in this area because this is where I have the deepest parts. And now what concealer do we want to use? I thought of using the Faux Filter Concealer to just go tone and tone with Huda, but I have two new ones. This is the MAC new Studio Radiance Concealer, and you saw this already last Friday in a Get Ready With Me where the Too Faced Aptly Love was also featured, but it was way too dark. I bought the NC10 shade that is the same as the foundation, but NC10 in this concealer is 2 shades darker than the foundation. So I exchanged it for NC5, and NC5, mwah, match made in heaven. But I also have the new Tarte Creaseless Creamy Concealer because, well, why not? This is such a good concealer, honestly. I tested both now and I really, really love them. So which one to use? I think I'm going in with the Tarte, yes. Doing the Tarte, this is my 3rd time now using it. It is very, very full coverage, but it doesn't feel like that. Same, again, it's like a vibe that I'm currently craving. I want to have full coverage, but I don't want to feel fully covered. And if you want to buy this concealer, they do have a deal directly on the Tarte website that you can get the concealer and the matching, is it the Paw Paw brush or something? For like $1 more. And basically you get this as a gift with purchase at the end. And I like this brush. This and the new Flex Concealer brush from Danessa Myricks. Not what I expected, but I really, really enjoy them. I mean, just look how easy that blended out the concealer. Now, going over it with a bit of sponge, but I really like that. I love the way this looks. I don't have a super new contour shade, so I'm going to use the same like last week. I'm still gathering my thoughts on the Dior contour stick, the new one. I'm wearing the shade Light, and so far I have been really, really enjoying this contour stick. It is, as you can tell, insanely pigmented. So it is definitely to be handled with a bit of caution. And I also want to mention that I don't think this is a contour. I think this is a hybrid bronzer contour. I hate the word, but let's say it's a bronzer. To me, this has not enough cool undertones for it to be a contour shade, for me at least. Maybe the darker shades are like that, but I feel like Light is the coolest in the range. But I have a new blush to show you. This is the new Chanel Joues Contrast Intense in Granite Profound. I didn't really think about these. I saw that they are coming out with new shades in this formulation, but I never tried it. And then I was actually on Instagram, or was it Instagram or YouTube? But someone told me that this shade has my name on it, and I have to agree. It does. I used it so far once, and I didn't like it that much because it is a cream, but it's a crumbly cream, like too dry of a cream. But I used also a different brush than usual. So for today's test, I'm using my trusty Rare Beauty blush brush. And the smell, I cannot put my finger on what the scent is. First of all, why is it fragranced? Why do we need a fragrance cream blush? I don't know. It's very, very pigmented. That is a lesson I already learned, so I just tap in here a little bit, and then I apply this. Oh my god. I don't know how I should describe this formula. It feels like when I touch it with the brush, pigment specks come off. You know, usually when you touch a cream, you kind of see how the cream is coating the bristles of your brush. With this one, it is like you are breaking off pigment specks of this brush, of this blush with the brush, and then you apply these pigment specks on your face and you break up these pigments to blend them in. It's very weird. Even on the brush itself, it looks like there are little flecks of these pigments clinging to the bristles. I don't understand that. I mean, the way that I apply it today and the way it looks today, I like it. That's definitely very, very beautiful and much better than the first time, but is it really worth the price tag for a cream blush? Not really, but I like the color, so not a regret yet. In the highlighter family, we talked about this 3 weeks ago in You Don't Need That Shit. You Don't Need That Shit. The new Armani Acqua highlighters from the Luminous Silk line. I picked up the shade 1, I think it's called Halo, and I have used this a couple times now, and I couldn't be more underwhelmed. It looks very, very pretty applied like that, like a super nice shimmery but kind of translucent silver, but honestly applied on the face, it's like, it's the highlight in the room with us. So let me show you. First of all, there is not enough product on that applicator. It is like the stopper is way too small, or the applicator is just shaped like shit. So I don't know what it is, but I do what I do always with a liquid highlight. I apply it like that. Then I take the Sephora Pro 90 and I usually tap it out in that motion. So where's the highlight? Is it in the room with us? Because I can't see it. It looks a slight bit more illuminated than this cheek, but not what I expect from a color that looks like this. To set my under eye, I will use a powder that I already used, that I already talked about, but I finally have it in the shade Translucent. This is the Tarte Creaseless powder, and the reason why I bought the Creaseless Creamy concealer was actually because of the powder. I was constantly checking on the Tarte website if the powder in Translucent is finally coming back in stock, and when it did, I decided, okay, I have to pay for shipping anyway, so I can also pick up now the concealer. And I do not regret it. Neither the concealer nor that translucent shade. And if you wondered, I decluttered the pink shade of this concealer, powder now, because it was too dark. If you remember in my review, I told you the pink shade is just, it's nice and pink, but it's like a too dark pink for me. It didn't fit me. The lavender though, chef's kiss. We're skipping the liner today and I go right into Burnt Cloth and I apply this here on the outer half of my lower lash line. I then go into Supernaturally. I blend that on the rest of the lash line, starting in the center, blending inwards and on top of Dorian. No, not Dorian, the Burnt Cloth shade. Dorian was that slight shimmer. And with a more fluffy pencil brush, I go into Upper West Side and blend underneath both for nice diffusion. For inner corner highlight, I go into White Tie. This is a luminous shade. And it looks like, or it feels like also one of those thin shimmers. So those ethereal ones. I apply this on the inner corners. It reminds me a lot of Too Faced Disco Crush shadow in, I think it's Fairy Dust. Yes, Fairy Dust, this one. It looks very, very shiny in the pan, but it definitely needs some build up to have its full potential. But these are like, I think 3 times I did back. Very pretty. Love that. I love ethereal shades like this in general. But also I have a lot of fallout, so let me just flick it off with a trusty spoolie. To set my face, I now have 2 options. I have this big motherfucker. This is the new Guerlain Parure Gold Skin Diamond Micro Powder. I think I talked about this probably 3 months ago or so. And this was the one that is marketed, let me read that to you, as a Micro Perfection loose powder infused with 24K gold and diamond powder. And by that description, I thought it's luminous. I thought it might look a bit like the meteorites on the face, but maybe a bit softer, a bit more blurring. But I swatched it and it's matte. It does not, like not lighten up your face, not give any glow. So my initial thought was to use this actually as a finishing powder. But this will make a great setting powder, I feel like. And this is 35 grams. This motherfucker is 35 fucking grams. And it costs an arm and a leg. The full price of this is €90. And I got it for quite a good price on a website where I have already 10%. And then I was able to stack my student discounts. So I think I paid like 68 or something like that, which is fine then, but €90 for a powder, don't get me wrong, I'm a luxe girl, I am very, very spoiled, but this is a bit much. But I also have the new Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder. This one I already used once on my face and I have to eat my words. Let me just tell you that, because when we initially talked about this, I was like, I don't like the shade range. Why is the lightest powder pink? I don't get this, because the pinkness that we saw in the picture, it looked very, very much like, for example, a Huda Cherry Blossom cake, or like the Glamlight pink powder, or Pat McGrath or Danessa Myricks, whoever has pink under eye setting powders. And I was convinced that this is only going to work as under eye setting powder for me. But do you see the pinkness? Me neither. It is so, so, so lightly pinked. It's barely visible. Honestly, it works on the face. And if you wonder why I do this the whole time, because of my movement, I'm pretty sure that a lot of powder has just come out, so I try to tap something back in here and it's very, very fine. I mean, look at this very, very heavy amount of powder here on my finger. Honestly, just from looking at it, I wouldn't even think that this is pink. I think this has more a neutral tone. I don't see a lot of pinkness, I'm not gonna lie here. So I grabbed the powder that was in the cap, and now I'm just pushing it on my face. I have applied this now on the center here of my face, in this area, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Let me now do it here on the forehead. By the way, if you wonder where I got this ginormous powder puff, this is from Trickwell Cosmetics. They do have these big and they do also have small puffs. And these puffs are genius. They are really, really good quality and they're very, very affordable. Again, please ignore this area that is just very crusty dry from the constant nose blowing. But honestly, I love the way this powder looks on my face. That is absolutely insane. It is so freaking pretty. So I'm gonna do now my brows off camera and then I come back for the rest of the face. For the face, you know, powders like bronzer, contour and shit, I actually have this one here. This is the new Hourglass Ambient Lighting Unlocked, and I decided to go for the Evil Eye. In the choice of all those three super cheap designs, I think the Evil Eye is the best one. I don't like Dragon, I don't like Lotus, so yeah. And this time I'm prepared because I actually picked up an ambient lighting brush, but it was too late that I saw that they have a matching brush, so doesn't matter now. But I always complain about the fact that these do not fit my regular brushes. For example, my Refer 5, it works nice, and we have to do it like that today, but this is my bronzer brush. This is a NARS brush. It is so complicated to fit in here. My NARS Ida does not fit, so I thought I maybe use this fluffier side here for the bronzer and the pointy side for the highlight. But we will not do highlight from this palette today, just the finishing powder later on, because I do have the new Gucci highlight here. So let's start with this one. This is the shade Natural Bronze. It is a new shade, so aside that finishing powder, everything is new in these palettes. That is really, really nice, to be honest. And usually the Hourglass bronzers, they tend to be way, way, way too warm, and Natural Bronze, not gonna lie, you see it, it has a certain warmth going on. But it is so nicely. I like that. I think Natural Bronze from those palette is my favorite. So I have already used yesterday the blush Pink Fusion. Not too sure what's going on with this one because this is called Oasis Glow. It's also a blush, and this one is Vibrant Coral. Maybe because my look is very, very neutral. We go with Oasis Glow. Hopefully it shows up on the face because it looks like it won't. It does, a tad bit. It definitely shows up like a very, very muted nude blush color. So this is now a second layer. Oh, I like that. Not bad, honestly, not bad. And to make it complete, let me show you. This is the highlighter. This is called Rose Gold Strobe Light. And this is, just as the name says, a rose gold highlighter with a lot of warmish undertones. But honestly, I really like it. But it's definitely a highlight that I cannot use with super cool toned blushes because that would look weird. But as a like highlight slash topper kind of shade, on top of very warm blushes, it works. So for example, with this one, I probably will have a great look with this, but we break the scheme. Not everything is warm and neutral today. We do a lilac blush. Highlight, I mean. So here they are, or here it is. I have only one. This is the new Gucci multi-use Silky Illuminating Powder, and I picked up the shade Frosty Lilac. Should we swatch it first? Ooh. Ooh, shoot, this is, oof. This definitely could now disturb the look a bit. But if it is like that, I will top it off with that highlight from the Hourglass palette. So I take my Charlotte Tilbury Sculpt and Shade, Powder and Sculpt blush. Why do I always want to say blush brush? I use this actually as highlighter brush because it's very, very pretty. And now let's apply this. Huh? Huh, okay. I mean, I should have known this. It definitely is not as intense when you apply it with a flimsy, fluffy brush. And it's not as purpley lilac. Ooh. I like that a lot. Shit, these are fucking expensive. But same here, I got it for a nice discounted price actually. I think I paid around 44 euro and the full price is 58 or so. I always look out for discount codes. I'm not gonna pay the full price here. I'm setting now the face with the mattifying setting mist from Beauty Bay, and honestly, I mean, it could be because of that packaging, but for whatever reason, I think they look the same. I know it's not like revolutionary. This is, by the way, the Scandinavia oil control finishing spray. That's not really oil controlling, by the way. But let's see how that mattifying setting mist works. By the way, it says on the bottle, set it, don't regret it. I kind of like that. So let me just check how this works. It just smells fresh. Nothing particularly scented here. I know, I always drench myself and now I'm a fan me down. I don't feel overly mattified. I feel put together, honestly. I like that. I've never tried the Beauty Bay makeup aside from eye products. So the lip products that I had from them, they were really, really bad. But this, I mean, okay, I have two highlighters, or one highlighter, but two liquid eyeshadows. They're good. So I like the way that looks. It's not, as I said, mattified to the max. It's more satinized, I would say. So, I forgot to do eyebrow highlight or brow bone highlight. So I take a white tie again and apply this underneath my brow. And now I'm gonna use the finishing powder. Usually I use this Spectrum Collection angled brush, but it is such a small pan. I use this paddle brush here from also Spectrum. No, is it Spectrum? It is Spectrum, it is. I don't think that I ever tried the shade Soft Light. So I apply this just here on the forehead, on the sides of the nose, on the chin, and also always underneath contour bronzer. It is definitely, in my opinion, not as glowy as, for example, Ethereal Light, or what's the other one that I currently have in the full size? Mood Light, definitely. And the other powders, like the Fused Light and stuff, I mean, it gave back a bit of luminosity, but a very soft glow, like that. I think my face looks really, really good, although I have so many dry bits from having a cold. So let me finish now the rest of the face, and then I come back with some final thoughts on the first and second impressions that I applied. And here we have the finished look, and as I was doing my mascara, I have a new one, the new Charlotte Tilbury Exagger-Eyes mascara. I have been testing this now for, in my timeline, it's a week. When you see the video, I've been using it for like 2 or even 3 weeks. I don't have the correct schedule in my mind, and I am really indecisive if I like this mascara or not, because on some days it looks really good, on other days it is a bit too much and too clumpy, but let me just show you how loaded that applicator is. Hope you can see it. I try to twist it so you can see it on every single angle, and it is full with product. And honestly, this mascara goes clumpy very, very easy. And that is from somebody who actually likes clumpy mascara. So, I don't know. Talking about these two, the Lisa Eldridge Fawn palette, it is a basic bitch color story, but from time to time I appreciate that basic bitch color story. And honestly, you cannot go wrong with Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow. They are just all a hit. That new Hourglass palette, I do like it. I really, really do like it. I think this is the one that is catered toward like medium skin tones, but it's the one that has the most pinks in it. I think the dragon one is supposed to be the lightest, but it is very peachy corally and I don't want to have this. So I'm happy with what I chose, and if I had to compare it to past years, is this my favorite? Maybe, because usually I was not a fan of the bronzer that's in there, but this year's bronzer here in that Evil Eye version, that is really giving me life, and that is really making me enjoy it actually. Foundation, powder, primer, setting spray, priming spray, concealer. Everything looks really, really pretty. I really, really like the way my face looks, how everything comes together, also with the eye look. Oh, and on the lips, nothing new. I'm wearing the Zamaya Dick Stick without the case, but this is the shade, which one is it? This is Mortal. It's a neutral pink with a tad bit of shimmer in it. Really like this one. I do not know what to wear, and my lips are very dry, and these are lip balms, so they are quite nourishing. Upon initial first impression, is there any product that I would immediately recommend to you? Yes, actually, let me grab it. The concealer. I love that concealer. It is my third or fourth time actually using it. It is just working with every single powder. And speaking of powder, that Makeup by Mario setting powder is really, really good. I bought the setting spray too, but since I have now another one open, I'm waiting for it to test. But I saw on the Makeup by Mario Instagram account that he tried the regular test where he applied eyeshadow here on an arm, sprayed with a setting spray, and then the eyeshadow didn't come off. I'm a bit... I find these videos sus because this is not how it works in real life. This is maybe setting for that moment, yes, but makeup is a two-way street. It's not only what's going on your face, it's also your oil, your like skin juices that come and destroy the makeup from within at the end. So I wouldn't give too much on these videos. They do show quite a nice setting effect, but is it really what you want to have in the setting spray? I don't know. So that's it. I have to go now. We have to drive now to my mother's birthday. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed and let me know which product was your favorite. And if none of them is really interesting you, comment Fawn. Thank you so much, and I hope I can see you in the next one.